Welcome to
People of Purpose.
People of Purpose.
People of Purpose.
People of Purpose.
People of Purpose is a podcast of inspiring people whose stories help you see things differently, live with intentionality, elevate the way you participate in the world, and take the necessary leaps in your life to seek and find your passions. Come with us and develop the courage to wholeheartedly pursue your purpose and unleash your truest potential. What do you have to say to people about dreaming big and wanting to live in big possibility for their life purpose and stuff when they're experiencing paralysis from anxiety or self-worth issues or anything in that type of zone?
Yeah. Ooh, big question. I mean, it really comes down to those small steps mean a lot. And in hypnosis, we can work on self-worth, or in meditation, or in getting in tune with the inner you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm okay. I'm worthy, all those things. And I really think most humans, I don't care what your age is, have an issue with self-worth.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, Zuzu, she's fine. She knows she's worthy, right? And
Hello, Wendy.
hello, Tanner.
Welcome to the People of Purpose podcast. Really excited to have you here today. Wendy is a hypnotherapist, our first ever hypnotherapist on the show. I'm excited to be amazed.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So we're here in our basement studio in Kansas City, Kansas. It's our second in-person one here. Wendy was recommended by a mutual person in our life, Seth. And Seth did a lot of work with you here. And we were able to reach out and connect via, I think, Zoom before this. And what stood out to me was that you don't have a certain prescribed thing you go through. You can meet anyone where they're at on any kind of topic and have them break through to living a life of their purpose and their potential. And I think that's why I wanted to have you on the show. Is you have a really interesting technology that when applied, people are going to be able to reach their potential and get back on track with their purpose. So
That's the hope.
yeah. What's your intention for being here today?
My intention is to reach more people with the good news that you have everything you need inside of you. And you already know that, I'm sure, Tanner, but to reach what you have inside of you, sometimes it takes someone else to help you, a guide, or really some tools and techniques that you can learn and go off on your own and really create whatever it is you want. And that's what I'm here to explain, tell, teach, and I love to teach. Yes, I'm a consulting hypnotist, but I really think at heart I'm more of a teacher. And so a lot of what I do is teaching these tools, teaching these techniques, teaching the rules of the mind, how the mind and heart work together, and how we can sabotage ourselves subtly sometimes that we don't even know how or why we're doing it, and how to break through those limitations and those obstacles, whether they're real or not, or imagined, in order to be healthier, reach a weight that you want to reach, or a fitness goal, or stop a bad habit like smoking or alcohol, pass a test, get confidence to speak in public like this podcast or anything, remove a fear or phobia such as flying. So many different things we can do, and beyond that, really to get in touch with your highest and best version of you. Whether you call the highest version of you God or divine self, or your highest and best version of you, that's what I love to help people get in touch with. What is the best Tanner that I can be in? How can I access that?
Yeah. And so when Tanner is getting, overwhelmed or frazzled or focused on short-term things, how do we remember that we have everything inside of us to continue to reach for our potential, and even when it might not look like it on the outside?
Right. It's really a matter of training.
Yeah.
Training your mind, training your emotional state, which I've come to really realize in the last few years even more how important it is to focus on your emotional state and really just be aware of what is my emotional state right now and not even try to change it, but be aware of it. And then use some tools in order to, I guess I say, upgrade it. Maybe you want to move from feeling anxious or nervous to simply acceptance. You may not be able to move in the moment from complete sadness to complete joy,
Yeah.
but just moving that emotional state to a point where you can be more creative, you can be more productive. It's hard to be productive when you're really angry or really sad or really frustrated.
Yeah.
And so those two things together, combined with your wonderful imagination, it's really the relaxation of the body, relaxation really of the mind, and changing or upgrading that emotional state and then putting into words, so to speak, or the feeling of really more the feeling of, okay, now this action that I'm taking now is in alignment with my vision. It's in alignment with my purpose. Okay, this action I'm taking now is not in alignment, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And move yourself to, okay, what's a better action or even a better thought? Or sometimes it's just chilling for a little bit, you know.
And how do we know, like, if it's in alignment or not? Like, how do we determine that? Is it a body feeling? Is it what rules?
I mean, it may be different for different people. For me, it's a body feel. If I'm starting to feel kind of tight, and maybe I'm starting to have some obsessive thoughts over and over. And for me, it's that kind of low-grade anxiety. I used to have it, I guess, all the time. And I didn't realize until it was gone that I had it all the time.
Yeah.
And that was maybe about 9 years ago. And suddenly I'm like, where did that go? It's something feels really different. So for me, that's what it is. It's the heart, it's the body. It may be different for different people, but I think most of us know when we're in alignment if you're self-aware. And then once you're self-aware, you can't change anything until you're aware of it, right? You have to be aware of it to begin with. And then you can start to move towards shifting it if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So, like, self-awareness is something that has taken me years and years and years. And there's still a sense of, like, sometimes I don't trust that I'm aware enough about what, myself, and I have blind spots. And I get feedback from others that I'm like, I didn't even perceive that about how I showed up or behaved. So,
and we all have those.
Yeah.
And it's good that you have people in your life that are willing to be honest and say, this is what you say you're intending, but this is how you're talking, this is how you're acting. And yeah, I think it's a lifelong journey to be self-aware.
Yeah, and I also find that sometimes when I'm at my worst, like, the head and the heart have a disconnection. Like, I have the words for what I want or what I'm noticing, but the music doesn't match the lyrics. My body is not expressing myself as happiness or sadness or joy or excitement. I'm saying I'm excited, but it's like my body's not showing it.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get out of, like, that kind of, like, fracture between, like, the mind and the heart?
I think it's being aware that the mind is the problem. It truly is. And I don't mean it's a problem to have a mind. We all have minds. But to really embody your purpose, it's dropping into the heart more and more and more. The mind's going to do what it's going to do, Tim. It's going to solve problems. It's going to figure out things. It's going to try to ruminate and obsess on things. It wants to protect you. It wants to it wants you to make sure that you're safe, and so if we can let the mind just kind of do its thing, but drop into the heart and then be willing, I think you use the word trust, be willing to trust your heart, be willing to trust that even though something seems really strange or I don't understand why I'm being led in this direction, just to trust that it's okay to do that. It's okay to take that leap of faith,
Yes.
Make that call, do the uncomfortable thing. Like, I don't do very many podcasts, but in order for me to to reach more people, this is the kind of thing I need to do. I need to be in front of technology. And I'm 65 years old. I'll just admit it on this podcast.
Let's go.
And I'm not as comfortable with technology because I'm not in that generation. But in order for me to evolve, this is what I need to be doing. If you're, what the old saying is, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in my generation, well, we can go two ways. We can not accept all the new stuff and just kind of slowly or quickly deteriorate. Or we can say, you know what, I'm going to embrace skydiving or public speaking or whatever it is, something new. I encourage a lot of my clients to do something new today. Like try out a new instrument, musical instrument, or some painting, or call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. Keep it, travel, expand your horizons. To me, that is the juice of life, is to just keep expanding. And if it's totally a bomb, who cares? You've tried. So yeah, I see smiling face. So that's kind of bringing some joy into that. Oh, purpose sounds so serious. It doesn't have to be that serious. It can be fun. Hypnosis is fun. Dipping into what the possibilities are is a blast. But, my clients typically come in for the first session and all they can focus on is the problem. I just can't stop eating sugar. It's just, controlling me. And once I can kind of tap into their why, well, why is it you want to quit eating sugar? How are you going to feel? I'm going to feel better. Okay, let's expand on feeling better. What is feeling better? Well, I guess I'll have more energy. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. But the interesting thing is most people have trouble expressing the emotion they want to feel when they've achieved that outcome. Like you're in real estate, is that correct?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Right.
So when you've achieved your goal of whatever it is, how are you going to feel?
Yeah, I feel like what ends up happening is it's like we sold another house, like woohoo, and here's the next 10 problems for the next round of stuff, and it just like goes into that.
Right.
And I want us to learn how we can celebrate, have more fun, more gratitude, and more connectivity with the family that's buying it.
Right.
But there's like a speed to business and a prioritization and stuff, and so we end up going back into the next thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it creates burnout, right?
Yeah.
So, right. And so take a moment. It doesn't have to take very long, but take a moment, take an hour.
Yeah.
Go have whatever, a coffee, go get a massage. You did it, but always, I think it's always good to keep that next goal in mind. I think it's great to have that next goal in mind because a lot of people reach their big goal and they haven't thought about, well, what's the next one?
Yes.
Always keep that goal in mind, but still just pause and breathe and just take a moment and go, good job, and do that every day. Do that with your team. It doesn't have to take very long.
I wanted to let Levin talk for a second here. There's a thing that I've seen that exists in our culture right now, which is like a sense of overwhelm in general with all of our commitments, our relationships, our life, our goals, and when you don't meet one, and then you kind of like don't want to show up for the next one. Like this is something that I see exists a lot in my age and younger. I would say especially the Gen Z generation. We've had several people work here that are Gen Z, and it's like there's a sense of how can I even have like goals if I feel like I can't even meet the goal of responding back to a message or like pushing a project forward in my personal life, like doing your bed or your laundry or something. What do you have to say to people about dreaming big and wanting to live in big possibility for their life purpose and stuff when they're experiencing like paralysis from anxiety or self-worth issues or anything like in that type of zone?
Yeah, big question. I mean, it really comes down to those small steps mean a lot. And in hypnosis, we can work on self-worth, or in meditation, or in different, getting in tune with the inner you. Like, I'm okay. I'm worthy, all those things. And I really think most humans, I don't care what your age is, have an issue with self-worth.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, Zuzu, she's fine. She knows she's worthy, right? Animals know they're worthy. But for some reason, we humans, I don't know if it's social conditioning over generations, but I think all of us have some degree of this unworthiness. Some people express it as more like narcissism and I'm all that, when on the inside they may not really be feeling that way,
Okay.
but that's how they outwardly express. Some people feed their feelings with food. Well, I'm not worthy of having, a healthy body. It's all subconscious. I'm not saying you consciously think, well, I'm not worthy of having everything that I desire. And you may not be able to get everything you desire in a certain time frame, but you certainly can work on one part of your life at a time. Balance, to me, is not having every wedge of the pie in perfect harmony. Sometimes you're going to be focused a lot on your career, especially when you're young. And then sometimes maybe you're going to be focused a lot on your family. You have a newborn. My daughter's super career oriented. 38, they just had their first baby. So right now, all the focus is on that newborn bubble, right? Luckily, she's worked on her career to the point where she can let that kind of go for a little while and focus on this new life that they've created. So I don't feel like, we think, well, if this part of my life is in alignment, then everything else is really hard. So you can focus on one thing at a time, but I think just knowing that you are you and you're worthy just because you are, just because you exist, because you're part of life, and that's what I think we don't stop and think about. Well, I'm part of life. I am life, and life is worthy because it's life, whether it's an ant or a tree, or a person. It's life. And so, kind of ramble there.
How do we get out of maybe a shame and guilt cycle where it's like we don't see ourselves as worthy enough because we let ourselves down or let others down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a consulting hypnotist. I'm not a licensed therapist. I do think therapy is really helpful, talk therapy. But I also think just focusing on what you have done right and that emotional state, and it's nice because in hypnosis, we're open to suggestion. We're slowing down the brain waves through scientific methods to the same speed as that of children. And then, like little children, we become very open, we become very creative, and it makes it easy to make those changes that you're wanting to make.
Yeah.
So I can suggest to you that you have nothing to feel guilty about or be ashamed of, and I can say that to you in your conscious mind, and that little protective part of your mind will go, wait a minute, what about this? What about that, right? Protecting you from, what if you did believe that you had nothing to feel guilty about? How would that be different? And so if you're in hypnosis or meditation, same kind of brainwave states, you're more open to the suggestion that you're okay and there's nothing to feel guilty about. And then, taking the actions along with the internal, all right, I'm okay just the way I am. And maybe think about something that you did that was an achievement, even a small thing. I've had people go back to, I got this award when I was 8 years old. I won the spelling bee. Or I got an athletic award when I was in middle school. And I'll regress them, well, I don't even regress them. I'll just say, tell me, what comes to mind when you feel the emotion of joy?
Yeah.
And they'll go, yeah, I got that award and everybody was so proud and happy with me that I did it. And so we lock in that emotional state of feeling proud, accomplished, joyful. And then it's like copy and paste that feeling onto your business deals, I did this. Well, the person returned my call. All right, we can copy and paste that. Or I got the sale, copy and paste that feeling over and over and over. Because that's what really we're wanting. We're wanting the feeling. It's not having $100,000 or $1,000,000 or the beautiful house or even the best relationship. It's the feeling that we get when we've created something that we have desired. It's okay to have desires.
Yeah.
And that's even part of our culture too, to some degree. Well, you shouldn't want so much. It's okay to want stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And desire helps us create what it is we want. It's just when the desire becomes addictive, it's not in balance. The Buddha said, walk the moderate path. Don't go way over here and deprive yourself of food and everything else. And don't go way over here and eat everything and go the materialistic route. Walk the moderate path where you're nurturing the body. And maybe you take a sip of wine or a glass of wine, but you stop. Or, maybe you do something that is just for fun and go, okay, I don't need to be on my phone for 3 hours playing this game. I can limit myself to 20 minutes and really enjoy it and then learn to stop and then move on and do something more productive.
Yeah.
Which we get so caught up in this technology, right? I mean, everybody does. It's really easy.
It's designed to overpower us and get us addicted to it.
Very much so.
Very smart people that have studied our brains a lot.
Very much so. And then we've got alcohol and we've got food and we've got gambling and we've got shopping and so many things to distract ourselves with, which is avoidance of the emotion, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to feel guilty. I certainly don't want to feel sad. Sadness is a no-no in our culture. We're not allowed to cry. Can you cry in front of your team? Well, maybe you can.
Now I can.
But, I talk to people every day and I say, can you cry at work? Right.
Yeah.
Teacher, nurse,
Why? Why do we cut out human feelings that connect us and bond us, from important communities like our workplace?
I mean, that would be one thing to change the world.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to release emotion. It's okay to be angry. We can't go out and have road rage and hurt people. But, punch a punching bag. Write it out and tear it up and throw it away or burn it.
Yeah.
Clean the house. That's what I do when I'm mad.
Yeah, that's a productive way to...
But it's an energy that wants to move, right? Some of the greatest art and music has been created through strong negative emotions, right? Alanis Morissette wrote this song back in the 90s. She was from Canada and she moved to LA and she broke up with her boyfriend or had a fight with him or something. And she wrote this song and she was then known as the angry girl. In her autobiography, she said, was not the angry girl. I was angry and I knew I needed to get it out of my body. So I wrote that song. Very smart to do that, right? Get it out, release it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And there's many ways to do that. Meditation or self-hypnosis may not be the way to go if you're angry. Kind of hard to sit and meditate or do self-hypnosis if you're really mad, But let yourself grieve and cry. We've had a lot of losses in the last few years. A lot of things have changed. People have passed away. Jobs have changed and gone away and changed in so many ways. Education system is changing. Business is changing. Government everything is really in this flux right now. And so it's hard for people. They feel like they're losing something.
Yeah.
But just focus on what you can control. Can't control the greater story, right? We live in 2024. We're here in the United States. We've got the world is going crazy in some parts of it. You can't control probably who your parents are and certain things about your life, but you can control what you think. You really can learn to train your thoughts. You really can learn to do that through all these methods.
Yeah, I agree.
You can learn to upgrade your emotional state by some of the things I just mentioned, or going for a walk. It's a beautiful fall day. Go for a walk in nature. There's a lot of ways to change and upgrade your emotional state. So you can control your thoughts. You can learn to change your emotional state at will. I've done that. I do that. And then you can, of course, control your own actions. can't control anybody else. But once you start doing that, then the world starts to change, because when we change, the world changes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying some things that lots of other people have said, but it's true. But what I offer is the change really needs to come from within. So if you can slow down those brain waves through some type of meditative practice or self-hypnosis, or with a guide like me, a hypnotist, then the possibilities open up, because we become more creative. That's why the stage shows work. People are open to suggestion. I'm not saying they necessarily are therapeutic, but sometimes people realize that, oh my gosh, if that person can do that crazy stuff on stage, maybe hypnosis will help me lose weight, you know?
Yeah.
So what a stage hypnotist is doing, or what any hypnotist is doing, is we are scientifically slowing down the brain waves, right? So you can do that in a lot of different ways. You're dip into trance all the time. Like right before you go to sleep at night, you're not awake, but you're not asleep. Great time to visualize what you want, because those brain waves are slower. You can sit and do that in your conscious mind all day long, and it's great, it's fine. But it's a natural trance. Another natural trance is when you wake up in the morning, unless you have a dog to take care of, or a small child, or some reason to jump out of bed. You're not asleep, but you're not fully awake. You're in the light alpha brainwaves. Another great time to visualize what you want, your purpose, so to speak. So lock it in those easy times. It doesn't have to take very long. A few minutes before you sleep, a few minutes after you wake up. Focus your intention and your purpose on whatever that is, and then just start to notice, like, when you feel in alignment or are acting in alignment with it. Good job. You know, give yourself a gold star. Okay, right now I'm in alignment. Well, maybe playing this video game for an hour is not in alignment, so that's okay. I can do better next time, or you know.
Yeah, I did a 10-day meditation in Thailand called Vipassana. Yeah, it's like a meditation that was taught by the original Buddha.
Whoa.
And it was like 14 hours a day with some little breaks in between. And you don't talk the whole time. And I found it to be extremely transformational, because my self-awareness just like skyrocketed. I could see where my focus got off track, and what would addict me, or what I would push away, and then where I would jump it back into the past or into the future, into the present. And it just became so many rounds of it that I was like living in that suggestible trance state for multiple days straight. There is no highs and there's no big lows here. It's very routine. Meditate an hour and a half, take 30, 40 minutes to walk around and look at the fish and the trees, and then come back in and do it. And it's like that all day long.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible, because I think I got to see ways in which, in the real world out here, when I have that distracting thought to go and like write some message or start some project, I might get on that you could literally get sidetracked for years on things that are not your purpose. But in this meditation, you're always coming back, always coming back. And I think that skill set of being able to like change that time between stimulus and the response, and be able to choose a response, has been such an empowering skill set to be able to take into my reality, that no matter what's happening around me outside, I feel very confident that I will be able to come back on track. And I put things in my life to make sure that happens.
And probably very quickly.
Yeah, just quickly now. And I've noticed also with that, the people around me are people that are good at that too. Like the people I build and create business with, or my wife or whatever, like they have this ability too. So it just keeps the standard high. The thing that because of this, I feel like I'm maybe like less tapped in to like what I guess other people who've never experienced this work get to go through. And I found myself sometimes like maybe judging or thinking that I'm superior or I'm enlightened or something like that.
Spiritual, let's see, what's the opposite of humility? But there's a word for it. Yeah, that's almost the worst.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and then you've entered a space where you're meeting people at all levels of background of experience with this work. And you're obviously someone that has done this work in a very ingrained way. It's like everything in your life, it seems like.
I wasn't always this way.
Yeah, I want to go into that.
Yeah.
What was it like? Can you, where can you become more
Well,
relatable, I guess, to people that
sure. Well,
haven't done it?
I went through a divorce in 2007.
Hmm.
I'd been married a really long time in a up and down relationship, and my goodness, I wasn't self-aware at all. I didn't know who I was. I just knew I needed to make a big change, and it was hard. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And so I wasn't sleeping. Um, I was very anxious, so I went to a hypnotherapist, and she helped me with those things. But that was really just the beginning of my journey. I started questioning, like, what is the purpose of life? What is my purpose? Why do people suffer? All the big questions. So I was a seeker. I guess I still am. And so I found something called the School of Metaphysics. There's different branches in the Midwest. And kind of started in the 70s, kind of the hippie movement, maybe the late 60s. And I didn't know anything about meditation or the laws, the spiritual laws. You're attracting people like you. I attract people like me, the laws of attraction and many of the universal laws. And I started studying with the school, learning these wonderful laws and techniques and exercises and doing the exercises. I was very resistant to doing some of these things because I couldn't sit still and concentrate and meditate very well, but I tried and I was okay at it. So I just kept going and I kept with it. Eventually I started teaching and had some experiences of starting classes where nobody showed up and that whole self-worth thing.
Nobody showed up.
Nobody showed up in my class, and going through those emotions and a lot of different things. And basically at the same time, when I went to my hypnotherapist, I was looking for a business of my own. I'd been in the corporate world 30 years at that point, roughly, or 25 or something like that. I said, I'm interested in getting certified to do this. And she said, I think you'd be good at it. So about that same time, around 2009, I got certified as a hypnotist, started working with clients, felt very much like I wasn't ready to do that. So I started going to more trainings, workshops. I got a mentor eventually, went out on my own in 2013 or full time. I wasn't working in the corporate world after the end of 2012. And that was a big leap. I had a pretty great part-time job that I could fall back on for income. So beginning of 2013, that went away. And I learned a lot from that. And so I kind of grew personally and professionally pretty much during the same time frame.
Yeah.
Then I ended up directing the School of Metaphysics, and now I'm a teacher. I'm a hypnotist, a certified master trainer with the International Association of Counselors and Therapists. So I train other hypnotists in my training, which will begin in January here in Liberty, Missouri, and Kansas City. But I'll have it online as well or on Zoom technology too. But I've learned a lot about purpose, focus, just moving forward, even if I don't feel like it at times, sometimes that's what you just have to do.
I agree. Yeah, your feelings can't dictate the actions.
No, they really can't. And sometimes that's the best thing to do, just go ahead and just do it. Just face the fear and just do it. And some people are paralyzed by the fear. And then with that, these techniques can be very helpful. The hypnosis, the meditation, all that. If you're paralyzed and you can't move, well, you need some help, right? But sometimes it's just that resistance of, oh, I know I need to move forward, but let me distract myself for a while because it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've learned a lot about how people think, and it's so interesting when you realize that everybody lives in their own world. They think the way they do, whether it's conditioning or just their personalities. Usually it's a combination, and it's very fascinating to meet people and talk to them and realize they think so differently than what I think. And it's okay if they want this, if they want a certain goal. I know there's ways to help them get there. They may not be the ways that that most people would talk about or do, and sometimes I have to work around, you know, those different things and work around the resistances, and that's what makes it fun. That's why I love what I do after almost 15 years of doing it. I mean, it never gets old
Yeah.
because it's always new and changing.
Why do you think you landed on being a hypnotist out of all those fields of healing?
It helped me a lot, and I knew I felt like I was too old to go back to school for and get a psychology degree and go through everything that you need to do to be a licensed counselor, which I think I would have enjoyed a lot, or psychotherapist. And I thought, you know, I can learn these skills for behavior modification, stay within my lane, within my scope of practice. So if someone has mental illness, you know, I'll refer them out. Or if it's not within my scope of practice, maybe it's an eating disorder, you know, that can be very dangerous. I refer out people that I think would be better served with somebody else. And sometimes clients are already talking to a therapist and then they use me for some kind of habitual behavior or addiction. And that works beautifully. We work together. And some clients have already been in therapy for a while and they just want something new and different. So I knew I could get certified in a very short period of time. What I didn't realize is there's just so much to it. It's just a wide open field that just keeps growing and expanding. You just keep learning different things, and which is what I absolutely love about it. But it was a way for me to get my toe into that area of healing that I do enjoy very much. I like diving in deep down into the psyche, so to speak. Yeah. I mean, I like other things too, massage and Reiki and things like that. I just felt like people always have opened up to me, like ever since I can remember. Like, it's just kind of natural that people tell me their secrets. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Well, that's a good insight about the informing your career field. And what do you have to say to people that want to take this leap and like become certified in hypnotism or Reiki or anything like that, and then you're like, well, how do I make that a career? How would I make money off that?
I would say don't quit your full-time job or don't quit your part-time job. You know, don't quit your full-time job too soon. It takes a while to build up your clientele. So be mindful of that and be structured with it. See clients at night after work in the evenings. Do what you can do to build up that those reviews and those referrals and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll be able to move into, you know, what I do, a full-time practice. But it's probably good to create audios that you can sell. Some hypnotists sell books, do their trainings, other things, you know, for money making it. Diversify your streams of income, so to speak. You know, that's really very helpful. You can even, I'm working on a peak performance program for high achieving clients who really want to up their game, maybe achieve some large business goal or maybe win some kind of Nobel Prize or, you know, get an Olympic medal, so to speak. Wow. So you can work with those high-end clients when you're ready. Group programs. I'm starting a very affordable group program this next month. So you can bring in a lot of people, do some more general universal things with them, and maybe have a theme for your group. And maybe then get some individual clients from that, or just work with the group. It's very affordable for people, and you know, it's your time, but then you're actually making more money that way because you have a number of people that are paying to be in the group or a subscription, that sort of thing. So there's just a lot of different ways. Yeah. It just takes some time and some patience to build it.
Yeah.
You can't really expect to like just hang out your shingle. Plus, it's hypnosis, and we're in the Midwest, so there's still some level of non-acceptance here.
Where is that coming from? I feel like hypnotism especially gets this, like, voodoo, magical, like, just really esoteric thing that people don't even want to even try to understand.
Well, sadly, Hollywood does no service to my profession. Maybe you've seen the silly old movies where it looks like the person's under some sort of weird spell, right? Yeah. But even 2 or 3 years ago, this movie comes out, this Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie. And there's a scene in that movie where these mutants, they live under the ocean. They're trying to get this metal called vibranium. And so there's a ship on the ocean with military and science personnel on that ship. The mutants under the ocean make this sound, and the people on the boat watch at the edge of the boat, and they drop themselves into the ocean. And in the movie, that scene happens again, and somebody in the movie yells, "That's hypnosis." And I about threw my shoe at the TV. It's not mind control. I can't control anybody's mind, right? No one can truly control anybody's mind. Maybe a cult leader for a while, but that doesn't sound like very much fun. But, but Hollywood, they want to sell movies. It's dramatic. The stage shows are very dramatic. People are doing crazy stuff up on stage. So you get this sort of sense that, oh, they're controlling me. The person's controlling the other person. And that's absolutely not true. You can lie in hypnosis. It's not truth serum. You're not going to do anything against your will. Like, please go to the bank. Do you have some cash in the bank? I want you to.
Yeah. There's a certain sense of trust in you, though, right? Like that people put their guards down to some degree and are like open to saying what they, I guess, feel deeply.
Exactly. I say hypnosis is a relationship.
Okay.
So the more you trust yourself, the more you trust the process, the more you trust me, the better it's going to work. But some people have a whole lot of trouble letting their guard down and trusting. That's the hardest clients that I work with. The most difficult clients I have are those with trust issues. Because, the guard is up and we are not letting those walls come down. Even though we say we want to. I worked with a client today who was in the military for 25 years. And the first session was okay. She made a little bit of change. She came back today and she goes, "Oh, I was really zoned out." I'm like, yes, that's what we want.
Right.
We want to set aside that conscious mind. Just let your mind drift, go wherever it wants to go. Its job is to help you. The duty of the subconscious mind is to fulfill all the desires that you have in your conscious mind. Just these old conditionings and programs have gotten in the way. And so if we can go to the old programming that says, when I'm bored, I need to eat sugar, for example, and go, okay, is that a program we want in our computer, the subconscious mind? No, we don't want that anymore. Remove that, clean that out.
There's a lot of programs that come from our parents and our schooling and our early relationships that broke apart, and we create safe comfort zone walls and limitations and armors and masks that prevent us from letting that subconscious just like roam.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest clients for me to work with, or probably any hypnotist would say the same thing, are teenagers. They're half in a trance anyway, right? And they're, and they don't have as much as the conditioning and the programming that's been going on for years, And so Mary Lou Retton, I tell this story to new clients. Mary Lou Retton was a gymnast back in the 1980s for the USA Olympic team. In the 1984 Olympics, Mary Lou Retton got the perfect score on the vault. Never been done before in the entire history of the Olympic Games. And I found out she used hypnosis. Again, a lot of pro and elite athletes, they use hypnosis or hypnotic techniques. I wish they talked about it more. But she used hypnosis back then. So she got the perfect score on the vault that had never been done before. Obviously, the reporters ran up to her and they go, "Hey, Mary Lou, how did it feel to get the perfect 10? And she said, "Well, it felt like it always felt." And she was only like 15. So what I think she meant by that was in her mind, maybe she saw herself running down those mats. Maybe in her mind, she heard the crowd cheering her on. Maybe in her mind, she felt that vault underneath her hands. Yeah. Of course, she would envision and visualize, I'm sure, her flips and twists in detail, her routine. Again, maybe she heard the crowd giving her that enthusiasm and then coming down and sticking the landing, which of course in gymnastics, you must plant your feet. You can't move them to get the perfect score, right? So in her mind, she did that routine, I think, over and over and over again. So when the reporter said, "How did it feel to get the perfect 10?" that was the feeling that she had always felt. So, and then I usually do an exercise with my clients to build their belief in visualization. And then I'll say, well, we didn't put a lot of feeling or emotion into that exercise we just did. But how's it going to feel to be a non-smoker? How's it going to feel to pass that court reporting examination so you can get this career that you really want? How's it going to feel to get in that airplane and go on that wonderful vacation with your lover? How's that going to be for you? It's going to feel great. So,
I love that,
and then the words like, I'm going to feel really empowered, or man, I'm just going to feel relieved. Okay, relief isn't exactly an emotion, but we can work with that. How about freedom? Freedom is one of the best emotional states, I think.
Yeah. Would it be helpful for people to see like an exercise of this?
Sure. Do you want to do a little hypnosis with me?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your outcome? Like, what would be the outcome that you would desire for yourself through this session or for the rest of your week or month or year or your whole life? What would be the outcome that you would want?
I would like to feel contentment, like I've done enough. I feel like there's an endless cycle of things to do. And when I step away to relax, then that number increases. I'm learning how to become a dad. I become a dad in 2.5 months.
Congratulations!
Yeah. So my wife just started her 3rd trimester, and on top of that, we're moving to Thailand for 5 months, and we're having the baby in her village.
My goodness.
She just left this morning. So we're now like long distance for the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
And
that's a lot of change.
I'm a CEO of a business that has millions of dollars moving around. And
right.
Still like needs more process and rules and structure and employees to be able to take on more of the load. And
will you be able to do that from Thailand?
Yeah, I think so. So it's like there's a sense of like, I guess like low grade anxiety of like, am I doing enough?
It makes sense.
Present enough for this, and then also I receive feedback that when I feel overwhelmed, I start to go into more of a lone wolf, like me and I state of existence rather than like a we and all and team. And I want to be able to be present in my relationships in a very giving, nurturing way, not just be a taker of anything that they could give me so that I'm like succeeding in my I. I want to be, not feeling like I'm more important or my time is more valuable than their time or something. I want to be just feeling, I guess, content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you started talking about I don't want this, and I'm not this, and then you did loop it back, which is great. You looped it back to the contentment part. Most new clients don't do that. They stay in the problem.
Yeah.
But the whole formula is associate into the problem. The problem is I've got a lot going on. Oh my goodness, you've got a lot going on. The problem is I feel overwhelmed sometimes and there's so much to do and my to-do list just keeps growing and how am I going to manage all this? So most everybody who comes into my office, why would they come in if they didn't have an issue?
Yeah.
Right? So you're associating to the problem. The second step is you disassociate a bit from the problem, right? Lots of ways to kind of pull back, and look at it from a bird's eye view, right? Okay, so I'm going to look at it a little bit more objectively, maybe do a little meditation, pull back from being so down in the depths of that emotion. What does contentment really feel like, and what do I, how do I really want to show up for my family and my associates and my customers, and how will that feel and how will that look? Just kind of disassociate a little bit, pull back and look at it more objectively, grab some resources, which could be your assistants do more things, or a new assistant, or just the resource of
I've been very much in that phase of human resources showing up.
Right. So grab some resources that might be, you know how to meditate, obviously. Grab that inner resource, whatever resource that you need. Learn some breathing techniques. You probably know those too, I'm guessing.
Pranayama.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is changing around me, and this is like the ultimate test of like all those things that I've learned in my life. Like,
Yeah.
environment change, my network is changing. I'm going to be in a culture where I can't speak to anyone. They speak a completely different language than me.
Wow.
And then wife, like around her family, and then in my family, and like money works differently there, and yeah, it's like, and then I'm responsible as a team leader on this team here in Kansas City, and I show up differently now because I'm just a virtual person. Like I also want to be present there. I don't want to be nocturnal, working U.S. hours and not present there.
Oh,
so there's a sense of that. It's like 13
well,
times
with the
away.
baby, you're not going to sleep anyway. So.
I want to be ready for that. Like I want to not feel like I get in these cycles of exhaustion and overwhelm and fatigue, and I want to remain hopeful and inspired and excited.
So whatever resources you need to accomplish that, and you might have to do some things that aren't comfortable and make some shifts in order to accommodate. I have no idea what all that would be, but the formula is associate into the problem.
Okay.
Easy peasy, you've done that. Disassociate, look at it from more of a bird's eye view. Okay, let me look at this more objectively instead of down in the depths of the emotional part of it. And then grabbing all your resources, whether they're internal, external, breathing, whatever. And then take those resources. Maybe the last time you felt super contented. Like I said, in hypnosis, it's easier to access that.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Grab that emotional experience and then associate those resources back into the problem. So disassociate, grab the resources, whatever they may be, and then reassociate back into the issue with all those resources.
Yeah.
So that's like the 4-step formula. Now, without doing a session, that's all conscious mind. Well, this is how this works. But, in hypnosis is when the magic happens, because the subconscious mind is so much more magical and more creative and just amazing. It never ceases to amaze me what things can actually, that you didn't even imagine could happen. Things can turn out better than expected. Something comes out of the blue. I had a student knock on the door of our therapy center. She wanted to be my student and my apprentice, and she's freaking amazing. She's going to open her own practice, and she already has, actually. And I'm like, where did you come from? You just dropped out of this. Thank you, God. Just dropped out of the sky.
Yeah.
And she's just incredible. And I needed the help for sure. So you just never know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But we can do a little session if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the breathing. I don't know how to. All right. So let's see. All right, so close your eyes and get comfortable in your chair. You might want to sit, if you're comfortable sitting up straight like that, it doesn't have to be like,
no, I
probably
usually
learn to
like a little
meditate.
slouchiness.
Okay,
Yeah.
Slouchiness is fine. I want you to be comfortable. So you may in meditation did you learn the straight back in meditation?
Yeah.
And so if you want to slouch, you're fine. But if the straight back is comfortable, I want you to be comfortable. So I would say to a new client, how's the temperature in the room?
Good.
If you need to scratch or sneeze or cough or move around, you don't need to be still.
Okay.
Most importantly, you don't need to listen to all the words that I say.
Okay.
Just let your mind go here and there, and maybe it goes to some memory of, okay, now I'm on my grandparents' farm picking strawberries, and what in the world does that have to do with what we're working on?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, even though I'm your tour guide, Tanner. Your mind knows better than my mind where it needs to go. So just let it go wherever it needs to go. You might see a pretty color in hypnosis. You might have an interesting sensation in the body. Just let it drift because it knows it wants to help you. That's its job. Okay, so I always start my sessions with some nice, easy, deep breathing. You do not have to breathe very deeply, But what I'd like you to do is just take a nice slow breath in through the nose. Good. Now slowly exhale through the nose. Very good. Now breathe in again. I want you to tense the muscles in your body slightly. Hold the slight tension in the body. Slightly. Now exhale. Release the tension. Release the breath. I want you just to imagine letting go of any cares or concerns of the day, like this rain has washed away all the dust of the week. Just allow everything to flow away. One more easy, gentle breath in. Breathe in. Tense every muscle in your body until you feel energy vibrating. Hold it, hold it. There you go. And just let it all go. Very, very good. Good. Now I want you to realize that you learn things in many different ways. One of the ways in which you learn is by hearing. And as you listen to the sound of my voice, you're simply learning how to relax. The second powerful way in which we learn is by seeing. And even though your eyes are closed, you could imagine or think about a leaf on a tree. Think about that leaf being perfectly formed with just one single drop of water upon it, as though a lovely light rain shower has just come by. The third powerful way in which we learn is by feeling. Although you may not have noticed it a moment ago, you're becoming slightly more aware of the feeling of the socks that you're wearing, the feeling of your slacks and your shirt, the feeling of that nice, comfortable chair that's just beneath you, perhaps the temperature in this room. And you are realizing that you have a very powerful mind. This powerful mind really can and will work for you. So I want you to go ahead and use your powerful mind right now. Go ahead and relax the feet. Then after you relax the feet, simply relax the legs. It's very true that day after day, your feet and your legs, they've carried you wherever you needed to go. They deserve the opportunity to simply relax. Now imagine this calm feeling moving from the legs to the upper legs, to the pelvic area, to the stomach, and then finally up into the chest. And as you breathe in naturally and exhale normally, you know that naturally and normally air is moving into the lungs. That air is being separated by those wonderful lungs, and all that amazing oxygen is circulating freely throughout the body, helping the body to become calm and relaxed, assisting the body in its wonderful functions. Now imagine this calm feeling moving from the chest to the shoulders, down the arms and to the hands, each finger relaxing one by one. It's really nice to be able to relax those hands and fingers. They work hard for us, and they deserve the opportunity to let go, release, and relax. Now imagine the calm feeling moving up the arms. This time it's moving to the back of the neck. Think about or imagine this feeling or sensation looking like a beautiful ribbon. This is your personal ribbon of relaxation. Now, Tanner, this ribbon can be whatever color you want it to be, whatever shape you desire. You create it the way you want it to be. Maybe it's all the beautiful colors of the rainbow combined. So imagine or think about this lovely ribbon as it winds around the spine, going over and around each and every vertebrae of the spine, all the way down to the tailbone. Think about or imagine that tailbone sinking down a little deeper into that comfortable chair as you drift deeper and deeper down, further and further back. Now imagine the calm feeling moving up the back. This time it's moving all the way to the top, all the way to the very crown of the head. You might even think about or imagine the crown of the top of the head kind of opening like a beautiful skylight as it opens to that golden white sunshine light. That light is a resource for you, Tanner. It might be simply your most important resource. Because as we know, light vanquishes the shadows. Light eliminates the darkness. Shine a light into those shadowy spaces. You might just find a gift, treasure hidden within, like beautiful, valuable diamonds hidden within the coal and the coal dust. Gorgeous jewels waiting to be found. That treasure is hidden within. Imagine that light moving through you, relaxing every muscle, cell, nerve, and fiber, going to where it needs to go, flowing to where it wants to go, all the way down to the tips of the toes. And you can focus on those parts of the body that seem to be the most comfortable, the most relaxed. If you want to, you can magnify that feeling. If you like, you can double, even triple the relaxation, because guess what? You are the boss of you. You are the boss of your powerful imagination. Einstein said imagination is more powerful than knowledge, and that was Einstein. So use your powerful imagination and move that calm feeling to any part of the body that needs a little extra help or assistance in relaxing. You can move it outside the confines of the physical body. You can send it out into this room if you like. Send it to your family, your colleagues. Send it to your wife. Send it to anyone, anytime, anywhere, because you are the boss of your imagination. You can send it out to the furthest reaches of the planet. And you can also bring it back close to you, wrapped around you, so warm, so safe and comfortable and secure, like a nice cozy blanket on a cool fall evening. And so from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes, very calm, very peaceful, very relaxed. That's it. Okay, now Tanner, here's what I want you to do now. I want you to open the eyes, find a spot over there on the wall to stare at. Any spot will do. Just find a spot to stare at. You have a couple of choices here. You can either soften the focus of your gaze around the edges of that spot, or if you prefer, you can pretend that you are looking right through that spot. It doesn't matter, whatever's the most comfortable for you. Very good. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count up from 1 to 5, and as I count, you might notice that your breathing becomes a little bit more regular, and you might notice that your eyes really want to close. In fact, it could seem as if somebody was coming over and oh so gently pulling the hands down over the eyelids. But I want you to resist that feeling as long as you can. Try very hard to keep the eyes open until I finally reach the count of 5. And when I finally do reach the count of 5, then you can close the eyes and imagine to think about that nice, wonderful, warm, heavy feeling that you are experiencing in the eyes, moving or flowing to all the muscles of the face. And 1, eyes might be feeling a little bit heavy now. Good. 2, feel really, really good to simply close the eyes. 3, it could be that the eyes are slightly watery. It would feel wonderful to close them. 4, eyes are just about closed. That's right, very good. 5, now you can fully close the eyes. Good. And just make your body comfortable. Just imagine or think about that nice, wonderful, warm, heavy feeling that you are experiencing in the eyes, moving or flowing to all the muscles of the face. You can think about this feeling, Tanner, like a wave. This is a wave of relaxation. It might be like an ocean wave, gently coming to shore with the tide and moving away again. This could be a wave moving down a river or a stream with the current. Maybe it's a wave on a beautiful lake being blown in by the breeze and back out again. So imagine or think about this lovely wave of relaxation starting at the top of the head, relaxing every single muscle of the face. Good. Here, nobody wants anything. Nobody needs anything. There's absolutely nothing at all for you to do but allow this wave to wash over you. You do not even need to listen to the words that I say. Just allow this wave to become a part of you and you to become a part of this comfortable wave of relaxation as it moves down the shoulders and down the torso. That's right. This comfortable, peaceful wave is simply flowing down the body. Nothing to do but allow this wave to become a part of you and you to become a part of it. As it moves down to the upper legs and the knees are relaxing and you are simply drifting deeper and deeper down and further back. It's very calm, relaxing, pleasant, and pleasing to drift deeper and deeper down, further and further back. The wave is washing down the lower legs, down to the ankles and the feet, all the way down to the tips of the toes. That wave of peace and contentment. That's right. Just imagine this wave of contentment and calm, pure relaxation. And you can access this wave of relaxation anytime you wish, anywhere you wish. Perhaps you've taken a vacation on an ocean beach and just allow the waves to come up to the body and down to the toes, and just allow this wave of peace and contentment to wash over you. That's right. Expansive, wonderful wave of relaxation. It could seem as if a part of your mind is here with me in this room, It might seem as if yet another part of your mind has kind of drifted away, relaxed away, released away to thoughts of long ago and far away. For all the things you used to worry about, all those things you used to fret about, they can simply move backwards. Because when you move backwards in space and in time, time is so fascinating. It can seem to stretch and stretch into infinite possibility. Time is malleable, stretchable. Time is really an illusion. It's a construct that we humans parse out consciousness in time. So you can bend time to your will. It is malleable, stretchable. That's right. That's space and time. And here is this space where you can truly be yourself, Tanner. You can truly be you. It is wonderful to be you. You are unique in all of creation. There is no one exactly like you. So begin to more deeply contemplate you. Claim you, celebrate you for who you really are. Wonder at the wonder as you wander and drift and dream. The fields of opportunity, they stretch out before you now. Be the witness. Be the observer. Pull back and observe. The field of unlimited potential and great possibility. Yes, everything is possible. Anything is possible. Remember, Einstein said imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Everything is possible, including having a heartfelt business, a family, living overseas, maintaining the connections that you so adore and love, that contentment of being at the right place at the right time with the right people, in your space, your purpose, living your dream, living your purpose, loving more deeply into it, allowing the heart to open even further and the mind to rest while you dive deep into that heart space. In that space, that beautiful space where there is no time. You can remember maybe a time when you felt really contented, really calm and peaceful, just contented to be yourself. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just being. Because you know that the formula for success is be, do, have. Be who you really are. Be the highest and best version of you. Do the things that support the highest and best version of you. Whatever that feels like, whatever that looks like, whatever you can imagine, and then have your dreams come true. Be, do, have. In that space where there is no time. And you can also consider here time as your friend. Consider time your ally, your friend, your resource. Time is truly on your side, helping you to feel even more calm, even more contented, even more peaceful, and even more able to bear it. That's right. Very good. And in a moment, soon, very soon, I'm going to count slowly from 5 down to 1. And as I count, you can continue to feel this contentment, this purpose, this heartfelt connection with yourself, for the people in your world, for the people you have yet to meet, for the places and plants and animals and life itself, knowing that you're in the right place at the right time. 5, you're feeling great. You absolutely know that, yes, you can do anything you set your mind to. For what the mind and the heart can conceive, the body will achieve. 4, coming back into awareness now. Some of those feet and the legs, hands, arms, and feet. You're becoming especially aware of your own abilities, talents, and amazing, fantastic, wonderful gifts. Give yourself the gift of large helpings of self-care, large amounts of self-esteem, large portions of self-compassion, self-deservability, self-worth, self-respect. Respect means look again and again at you. Yes, self-confidence. Self-love is an action. It is a wonderful action. What action will you take to love yourself today, either internal or external? Love yourself like your life depends upon it, and so it does, and so it is, and so it remains. And as you fill up your cup with these beautiful, wonderful gifts, then you can pour them out freely for others. 3, knowing that the past is gone, it's just memory. That's all it is. Keep it in the container labeled the past, but keep any lessons close to your heart. Life is about learning. We are all co-creating our reality together. Yes, your thoughts are important. They matter. Your feelings, your emotions, all of them are valid. They matter. Your actions matter. You are part of the web of life. You matter. So see yourself, feel yourself, experience yourself, moving into this time of transition and change with peace and purpose and contentment and knowledge that you've got this, that it will morph and change in the way that it needs to, the way it's supposed to. And the people will be the people in your life, knowing that you have that their heartfelt interest, the best interest in mind for them, as well as for you and the company and your relationships. It will all fall into place beautifully. Trust. Trust. Feel it, sense it, imagine it, be there now. And how do you achieve that wonderful future? By being very present in the moment. Because as you know, the present moment is a gift. So open it, receive it, embody it. Breathe in that present moment experience. Be grateful and forgive in the present moment. Learn from those challenges and opportunities that flow our way. Life continues to flow and go, so go with that flow. Most importantly, most especially, cause yourself to pause. Be the witness, be the observer. And then choose wisely your thoughts. Upgrade your emotional state if you wish. Choose wisely your habits, your actions, your responses in that space where there is no time. And it will lead to that wonderful tomorrow, and to becoming more aware of the outside sounds and noises, becoming more aware of those feelings, the physical body. Physical body is in perfect working condition. All organs, cells, nerves, fibers, blood, bones, joints, hormones, everything working absolutely perfectly. Mind refreshed, sharp, and wonderfully, beautifully clear, and one wonderful one. Whenever you're ready, just take a nice slow breath in, breathe in. Exhale when you're ready. You can allow your eyes to open. No need at all to rush. Welcome back. You look so chill. A nice little smile on your face. I love it. That's why I do what I do, just for that look. Like, I live for that look on your face.
So much stillness and peace.
Good.
Letting go of control.
Yeah.
It's amazing that was live. You're like, you like know every word and how to say it. Speeds or tone changes.
I was a musician, a music major for a while. I love music. I played music.
Yeah, it felt like a symphony of words.
Yeah.
It's a performance in itself.
And I practiced this for a long time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I forgot that we were even going to potentially do a session, so that was just from all practice. You know, practice brings progress. That's what I tell clients. They're like, oh, just keep practicing the little self-hypnosis, easy technique that I teach. Simple, quick, New York fast, easy, fun method of self-hypnosis. But you have to practice it. You have to put the intention into action. Even if it doesn't take very long, but at least do it. Because we get so caught up in conscious action, and then you just fall asleep, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
No, do this work. The inner work is so important.
You said be, do, have. That really resonated with me. It's like not skip the be part. Be and then do from that being.
And I'm sure you've heard that before.
Shucks, you.
But we tend to fall back on the way we are raised in the United States with do, unless you consciously every day put that into practice.
And you said stuff about time that was really interesting about time being a construct, time being a thing that our conscious mind, what did you say, like it creates these slices of it that feel so real.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
it's bendable, it's malleable,
yeah,
it's changeable.
yeah, I just
I
chose to
had to
believe
learn
that while
that
you were saying.
myself. Like that time, I felt my most constricted with time
That's me
for a
too.
long time.
That's what mine is too.
And I was like, I don't want to feel rushed all the time, that I don't have enough resources, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough. And it was mostly related to time. So I really worked for a long time to always be early. Like I was really early getting here. I ended up going around the big block. Like I went all the way back to the Legends and came back because I was really early. Because anymore, like, I don't want to show up at the last minute. And I want to show up calm and peaceful rather than,
You have margin in your life to be that early and be.
I create it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I create it. And it usually seems to work out. Like if I've overscheduled myself with clients, usually somebody calls in, I got to reschedule, I'm sick, or I've got a sickly kid, and I'm like, thank you, universe. That worked out well.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh no, I missed out on money. No, yeah. Good.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can wrap up here. I mean, what do you want to say to finish this off?
I mean, I just want to say thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. You're doing some good work out there, I can tell. And just bringing your consciousness of the heart is really awesome. So thank you for doing that. And I appreciate everything, allowing me to share my gifts. That's what I love. So very grateful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, you're really unique. Your uniqueness.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like.
I used to not embrace that part of myself, so that's another learning. It's like, you know what? I know I have a different way of doing things, approaching things, thinking, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna own it.
I've never met someone like you.
Probably not.
I've never done something like this, like a live hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you have a new experience.
Yeah. So how can people connect with you? Or
Sure. So you can email me, Wendy at libertyhypnosis.com. You can call me, text me. My number's on the website. Yeah, so feel free to reach out. I'm on all the social media too, so I would rather get a phone call or an email that I can respond to rather than socials, but I try to check up on those, and I have a marketing person who helps me. Hey, you got a response on your class or whatever. I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I offer complimentary consultations in person in my office in Liberty, Missouri, or over Zoom or over the phone. I'd rather meet someone in person, but that sometimes doesn't work. And they're about 30, 40 minutes long. You can get to know me, get all your questions answered, and then decide if it's something that fits for you. So I do offer that. Because hypnosis is a little bit unusual, and a lot of people are kind of uncomfortable with it. I don't know that a plumber or an accountant or a lawyer has to debunk the myths and misconceptions like I do of their profession, but that's why I spend some of my time doing that.
yeah.
But now you've had an experience, and it's really about the experience. I can say all kinds of stuff, but until you have an experience, you don't really know what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. I was noticing that too. Is like let's just like go through the experience and try it myself and be open and trusting to what comes from it. Thank you very much, Wendy, for joining us today.